10 Stoic signs you're a truly good person. How ancient wisdom measures character. You'll never see a Stoic brag about being a good person. They won't post quotes about kindness or wear morality like a badge. Instead, they live it, quietly, consistently, and powerfully. So how do you know if you're truly a good person? By Stoic standards. It's not about being nice. It's about being virtuous, especially when no one's watching. The Stoic definition of a good person. In our modern world, being good is often confused with being agreeable, likable, or socially polished. But in Stoic philosophy, goodness isn't measured by how you make others feel. It's measured by virtue. And virtue, to the Stoics, means living in alignment with reason, integrity, justice, courage, and self-control. The Stoics didn't believe in fake smiles or virtue signaling. They believed in inner character, what you do when nobody's watching, what you choose when it's hard, and how you live when there's nothing to gain. This ancient philosophy, embraced by thinkers like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, wasn't abstract. It was practical, tested, and brutally honest. Being a good person wasn't about being perfect. It was about progress, discipline, and living intentionally. So how do you know if you're walking the Stoic path of goodness? Here are 10 signs you are a good person, not by society's shallow standards, but by the timeless principles of Stoicism. 1. You do the right thing, even when it's inconvenient. If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. Marcus Aurelius. The Stoics believed that virtue isn't tested in moments of comfort, but in moments of difficulty. If you still choose honesty when lying would be easier. If you take the high road when nobody's watching. If you refuse to cut corners even when there's no punishment. That's Stoic goodness, not because you're trying to impress, but because your values run deep. Doing what's right without needing recognition is the first sign that your goodness is real, not reactive. 2. You don't blame others for your emotions. It's not things that upset us, but our judgments about them. Epictetus. A core Stoic belief is that you are responsible for your emotions. The weather, your boss, your partner, they may influence your day, but they don't control your response. You do. If you don't rage, lash out, or sulk every time something goes wrong, if you pause, reflect, and respond with clarity, you've developed one of the rarest Stoic virtues: emotional ownership. A good person doesn't project their pain onto others. They take accountability, and in doing so, bring peace instead of chaos. 3. You help others without expecting praise or payback. Wherever there is a human being, there is an opportunity for kindness. You don't need to be a savior. You don't need to donate millions. But if you consistently offer help, not for attention, but because it aligns with your principles, that's Stoic virtue in motion. A good person doesn't keep score. They help because it's right, not because it's rewarded. If someone says, "Thank you," fine. If not, you're still content, because the act itself was the reward. 4. You are calm in chaos. Man is not worried by real problems so much as by his imagined anxieties. Life will throw curveballs. The Stoics knew that. Ships sink, people betray, illness comes, fortune flips. A good person doesn't crumble at every disruption. They remain grounded, like a rock in a storm. Not because they don't feel fear or pain, but because they've trained themselves to stand in the storm without becoming it. If people look to you for stability during chaos, chances are you've internalized Stoic strength, and that strength is a form of moral leadership. 5. You seek progress, not perfection. No man is free who is not master of himself. Stoicism doesn't expect perfection, it expects discipline. If you judge yourself not by outcomes, but by effort. If you track your progress, own your mistakes, and improve quietly every day, you're living the Stoic ideal of excellence over ego. A good person is humble enough to admit where they fall short, and committed enough to rise again tomorrow. 6. You don't gossip or slander even when it's easy. Better to trip with the feet than with the tongue. It's easy to criticize. It's tempting to join in when others tear someone down. But a good person doesn't need that cheap high. If you refrain from gossip, not because you're afraid of backlash, but because it feels wrong, you embody Stoic justice. You see others' flaws but don't exploit them. You offer understanding, not mockery. This quiet discipline of the tongue reveals deep character. 7. You respect people you disagree with. We are more often frightened than hurt. and we suffer more in imagination than in reality. The modern world trains us to hate those who think differently, but the Stoic doesn't argue to win, they speak to understand. If you can remain calm during disagreement, resist the urge to dominate, and still treat others with dignity, you've mastered one of the hardest Stoic virtues, rational tolerance. A good person doesn't confuse conviction with cruelty. They stand firm, but remain fair. 8. You keep promises, even the small ones. First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. To the Stoics, your word was your identity. If you show up when you say you will, if you honor small commitments without excuses, if you don't ghost, flake, or bail just because it's inconvenient, you are living out integrity, and that's rarer than charm or intelligence. Goodness is built in the smallest decisions, like replying when you said you would, or keeping a secret you promised to protect. 9. You don't let praise corrupt you or criticism define you. Don't hanker after what you don't have. Instead, fix your attentions on the finest and best that you have. Praise and blame are both traps. The Stoic avoids both. If you've learned to take compliments with humility and criticism with grace, you've untangled yourself from public opinion. That's a powerful sign of inner virtue. A good person doesn't inflate from approval or deflate from rejection. They remain steady, because their compass is internal. 10. You live in harmony with nature and reason. To live in agreement with nature is the Stoic's goal. This is the Stoic's highest calling, to live with nature. Not just trees and rivers, but human nature. To understand yourself, your flaws, your impermanence. A good person accepts their mortality. They embrace simplicity. They don't waste life chasing wealth, fame, or comfort at the cost of virtue. They live by reason, not impulse, by values, not trends, and by timeless truth, not social fashion. If your life reflects that rhythm, you are walking the path of Stoic excellence. Goodness is a discipline, not a feeling. Being a good person isn't about being liked. It's not about being moral only when it's easy. It's about living with virtue, no matter the cost. The Stoics taught us that true goodness isn't loud. It doesn't need applause. It doesn't sway with opinion or bend under pressure. If you recognize yourself in these 10 signs, even partially, you are further along the Stoic path than most. And if you're not there yet, that's the beauty of Stoicism. It always invites you to start again, today, right now, with this breath. So, in a world of noise, be someone who lives by principle. Be someone who doesn't have to say they're a good person, because everyone around them already knows. If you would like this adapted into a workbook, a daily reflection journal, or a personal Stoic character test, leave a comment below. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for your time.